7.5-inch rough country lift for a 2007 Avalanche, Tahoe, Suburban, Cadillac, Escalade, blah blah blah, all the same body line, and or I guess not body line, frames and stuff like that. I haven't seen any reviews on it yet, and I was looking pretty hard when I was actually trying to buy it. But you got that's the simple Silverado ones. You don't really find any with just the Avalanche setup, Tahoe, with anything with the rear coil springs. So I wanted to do a video, show you guys all the angles, because that's a big talk, is the rough country angles, how the spacers are bad, everything like that. My big thing is I didn't want the spacers. I've decided I wanted to go with the lifted strut option, which I recommend everyone do. For an extra 200 bucks, you get 2 lifted shocks. They're both 7.5 inches taller, which is basically what your spacer would be, and it just looks more clean up front too. So I'll insert a picture of that right now for you so you can see the video or the format I'm talking about. Hopefully the video quality is good for you guys. I'm trying on my phone right now because the girlfriend uses my camera for makeup videos. So yeah, so I'll do a video on that. I'll show you guys all what the truck looks like now. It's a big difference. You can fit 35s. They do rub. I'm not running negative 44s. I'm still running my negative 18 with 10 wides. They do rub a little. I've trimmed a little bit. I need to trim more as the suspension settles. Mostly full lock. So going down the road, it goes pretty straight. The lift kit itself does really well. When I had my other tires on it, they were 33s by 10s. They ran straight really well. The thing I noticed is with the 35 by 12 and a half, it tends to follow the road really bad, so you get a little bit of a wobble here and there. That's normal for wider tires though. You'll follow the road. You sit pretty high, ground clearance is pretty good, but down the road I get no popping, no weird suspension clutter, nothing bad really at all suspension wise. The bad thing that I found is kind of hard to live with is the actual wider tires kind of pulling you all over the road. Well, that took me about a week to get used to. You kind of adjust how you drive and then it runs a little bit better. That's usually about the biggest issue that I think I've had with this, is just the wider tires. My buddy Mav, we'll let him drive it a little bit too, so you can see he drove it once for me, but he already said that you do a lot of correction. As you can see from the wheel, I'm not really correcting it too much. You get a little bit of bump steer here and there, just normal stuff, but it's usually, you're pretty straight, you're just going along the road. So drive quality wise, down for longer trips isn't horrible. I would definitely not go faster and faster though, because you already lifted truck. Right now I'm doing 75. The faster you go, the worse the wandering gets, and that's not even the lift, that's more just from the tires. So here we'll try to give you guys a bit of a turning feel. I don't know if this will work out well or not. Ooh, that's funky over there. Why are they both out their car? But anyways, we're gonna go for a turn here and see. So I mean, I took that a little hard, didn't really get much rotation out of it. Alright, so here's the rear lift. The rear is actually, I would say, probably a pretty decent lift. I don't have much to go off of. I haven't seen very many lifts. This is the first lift I've actually put on myself. So main one, your bigger spring. It's a girthy spring. It's heavy, it's way bigger than stock, it's thicker, it's a pretty good spring. Next, this is your track bar relocator bracket. So this goes into stock location. You have to drill a hole and pop this one in. Then you have another one on the back side they want you to drill and put in. I could not actually figure out where they wanted that one, so I ran 2 of those tight as I could. No issue since, and it relocates up here. I believe this is the same for the 5 and the 7 inch. I believe this is what the second hole is for. I'm not sure. If someone in the comment section knows though, that'd be nice to know. There's 2 holes there. I chose the top one. It straightened out the wheels the best for me. Next, you get longer sway bar links. These I'm a little worried about under tension. They seem pretty thin. So far they're holding up good. They bolt right to your stock one. Your stock mounts stay right in place. And for your shocks, you can reuse your old shocks, which I need to buy new ones for the rear. But you have a basically a new mount that bolts in the old hardware location. And right down in there, you have another bolt that you drill and you bolt through. So right there. All it does is pretty much move your whole shock mount up the 7.5 inches, like they say, and it bolts back up stock. That's all there is for that. I need to actually tighten up my rear diff cover because you have to relocate, and I must not have tightened that bolt all the way up because I got a little bit of leakage. But then there's your relocation bracket. I had to modify that for the brake lines to work right. Instructions were a little funky, so I just kind of made it work for me. But that's the rear. The rear is probably the best part of the lift, I would say. So this is the 7.5 inch lifted shock. Basically what they would do normally, you'd have a 7.5 inch spacer sitting here to roughly, probably there. And then your strut would bolt into that and go. I didn't like that option just because I like my spring and everything being up higher. So eventually, if I wanted to, you can do custom spring colors and everything like that. It'll probably never have that, but it's a nice option. One downside, yeah, should probably cut that. That's for my wheel well lights. Runs up there. I have to remount them still. But for the brake line, they don't give you a longer brake line to attach into it. They give you a mount that you bolt up to stock location, bolt the stock mount to the new mount, and basically pull on your brake line until it's in the correct location. Mine get tight, but not too tight. They get kind of taut, but they don't get so tight that you have to worry about it breaking on you. That's something funky you have to do if you install it yourself. It is okay, it's not the best. Just make sure you get that right so when you go full lock, you don't rip apart your brake hose and have to figure out another way to stop. Now we're down to the good part. Here's the crossbar relocation bracket. This went in very easily. Stock's positioned real well. Aftermarket knuckle, of course, everything else well. All that went fine. I did buy new CV axles just because mine were going bad. You do have to cut the old tie rods. They give you a chart, and I think it's 3/8 of an inch. Cut them, they go right on. You have plenty of adjustments still. Here is your CV axle spacers though. Now these are a full-on pain in the rear. You'll hate yourself. The holes that they drill are close but not good enough. We had to bore it out. I think we went up four or five drill bit sizes so they would all thread in. Not a horrible thing, but definitely an inconvenience. Took us longer. Once we figured that out, we were able to go through on both sides. Skid plate that came with it. And up here is your relocation brackets. Pretty simple. I'm not happy with how thick they are. They're pretty thin. I would like those to be a little bit thicker, you know, just for support reasons. Rear cross member. Pretty happy with this. It's thick, it's beefy, all powder coated black. Only thing you have to do to get the case to fit is cut out a chunk in the stock one for it to bolt up to. That is only the big modification really have to do is cut up part of your frame, get that to mount up into there. It's kind of a bad angle, but other than that, it's about it. And you have to drill a new hole for your sway bar link to go into. It's pretty easy. They give you a diagram. Just drill it, follow the instructions, drill exactly as it has. It's good instructions on that. If I can get you the good angle, you can see the stock. Yeah, so there's the stock hole. You drill it back probably about 2 inches. But they give you a little cheat sheet to. So here's the big one. Here's your angles. CV angles aren't the best. That's probably the worst thing I can see. CV angles aren't very well at all. You'll be replacing boots all the time and probably axles. The upper is still stock for me. I do plan on buying a aftermarket one at some point. I don't know when yet, but soon. Probably once one blows, I'll replace them. Another issue I have is you are very close to your bump stop. So your down travel you don't have very much of. Which I think is because this is actually a 5-inch kit that they stretched to 7.5. So you don't hear or feel that going down the road, but that's you don't have much downward flex, which could be part of the, I guess, part of a stretching issue they had with moving everything. But maybe if I get lifted control arms, that might help that a little bit. Then here's just another shot of the axles down there for you, so you can see they are a bit of an angle. So yeah, they are definitely going down. You can tell there ain't much you can really do for that. So me and Mav we just got done with the car wash. We're on our way to try getting like a cool cinematic shot for you guys so you can see what it looks like and see how it goes from there. Try to play with some editing stuff, but that's the lift kit. The rest of this is just going to be us kind of messing around, and then you'll see a cool cinematic of the shot once we get done with all our shots and stuff.
And all I know is you'll find when you do what you do. And babe, I wanna make you mine. When I see those hips move, I'm thinking, damn girl, yeah, just let me be your man, girl.
That's Mav's car. My hood sits about the height of his roof. Stock height 300. We'll probably have videos on those soon. He just got that. He used to have that Grand Prix.
Yeah, said you like your eggs with a little sunny side. Yeah, said you make them beg for seconds every time. Yeah, I'm here to feel your legs all tingle in the night. Yeah, all I know is you're fine when you do what you do. And babe, I wanna make you mine. When I see those hips move, I'm thinking, damn girl, yeah, just let me be your man, girl. She got me falling by the way that she falling down that pole, throwing ones like I'm ballin'. Call me a pro, cause I know how to call them. Damn, she